Tyler Cavalli and Scott Foster along with you for our final regular season edition of our high school football preview show. And we have 3 games on the air for you this week. Starting Thursday night, Loomis will be at Bertrand. That'll be on 880 KRVN. Evan Jones and Jason Jorgensen will have that call for you. Kickoff will be at 7 with pregame at 6:35 p.m. Meanwhile, over on 880 KRVN and 93.1 The River on Friday, Ord will be at Gothenburg. That will be on the River. Scott will have that call with Jerry Wiggins, and myself and Darren Hansen will have the call with Hastings at Lexington, and that'll be, of course, over on 880 KRVN. Pre-games for both of those, 6:35 p.m. and kickoff at 7. Of course, you can stream any games at krvn.com anywhere in the world. Well, Scott, let's talk about your game first. Ord at Gothenburg. A couple of teams had high hopes coming into the season. Looks like they're going to miss the playoffs. Maybe not quite the ending that they were hoping for.
Well, both teams come into this game at 4-4. Both are playing pretty good football right now. They've definitely improved as the year has gone on. Both have been hit by injuries. Gothenburg had a very inexperienced team coming into the season. They've made some real good improvements, had a nice win last week over O'Neill. For Ord, they've been up and down. They've had some games where they've looked really, really good, and they've struggled in other games. They're still learning how to win. Coach Wells would really like to see them learn to get that killer instinct. Of course, Coach Hakey's been there for 100 years, but his teams always get better at the end of the year. So it should be a lot of fun. These two teams are playing for pride. The one will go home with a winning record. The other one will finish the year with a losing record. So I think it's going to be a fun game. We'll get to see what Dawson Graham does, quarterback for that team. And then on the other side, Cade Svoboda, a great running back for Ord. So it should be a lot of fun.
Should be an evenly matched up game for both teams. Meanwhile, on 880 KRVN, Hastings will be on the road to Lexington. Both teams struggled this season, but both teams also dealing with multiple injuries, including Hastings, who their quarterback went down early on this season, and their running back had to come and be the new quarterback, Dreer for Hastings Tigers. And talking to their head coach, it's not quite the position he wanted to play, but he understands you have to help out the team. Meanwhile, for Lexington, Dane Coog, unfortunately, will not be the starting quarterback for the Lexington Minutemen after throwing a 2-point conversion for Lexington. Of course, Clay Hernandez will be back there, but they're trying to look ahead and finish out on a strong note. They played very well last week against Adams Central, who's a very good team. They'll play McCook this Friday night. But Lexington, looking ahead, looking to shut out, pick up their second win. They have 1 win on the season. Hastings has 2. Of course, they're looking to pick up their 3rd win overall. Well, of course, Husker football as well is in the middle of the season. And a fairly big game coming up against Northwestern on Saturday. And a big game for Big Red Faithful as well, I think, because big win last Saturday on the road against Minnesota. And, maybe restoring some hope for those maybe doubting Mike Riley a little bit.
Well, first of all, I'm a little nervous that we're talking about it because last week we didn't do this show because you were at state softball and they played their best game of the year. So here we are talking about if they jinxed it, Husker Nation, it's his fault. But I know I like the Huskers in this game. Northwestern has hit a major speed bump after again looking like they're one of the better teams in the division. They get into the league and struggle. So I don't know. I think the Huskers maybe picked up some momentum. They figured out how to win. I would expect that they hold serve here against this one. Looking
ahead, I think it'll be an evenly matched up game. They'll be also sporting the alternate Adidas uniforms. Some are in favor, some are not. I think for me, I like the sticking with the plain Jane, Husker uniforms.
Okay, but talk to me a little bit about the all whites on the road. Can we bring back the red pants, please, Mike Riley? I want the red pants back.
I'll be okay with that, but we won last week, so.
We lost in the weeks before. I'm just saying.
It is a fair question. Fair question. Whatever works, whatever wins, whatever. I'm okay with that. I think Huskers come away with another win at their second straight, and I think it'll be a good win against Northwestern. As you said, they've really struggled going down the stretch here, and a very good Big Ten conference as well. Remember, Thursday night action, Loomis will be at Bertrand. They'll be on 880 KRVN. Kickoff will be at 7. Evan Jones and Jason Jorgensen will have that call. 880 KRVN and 93.1 The River will each have their own game on Friday night. On 880 will be Hastings at Lexington. Myself and Darren Hansen will have that call. Meanwhile, over on The River, Jerry Wiggins and this guy right here, Scott Foster, will have Ord at Gothenburg. Pre-game for both of those teams will be at 6:35, and kickoff will be at 7. Final.
Do you have a World Series prediction?
World Series. Obviously the Mets got their sweep.
Yeah.
Last time there was a sweep in the NL was when the Rockies did it, so that's all right. Unfortunately, they lost. But no, I think I'm kind of rooting for. I know a lot of people here at the station not in favor, but I'm rooting for the Toronto.
Really?
I am. What about you?
Well, I guess I'm rooting for the Royals because my Padres aren't there, so no chance of that. Royals Mets, that should be fun. I think it's a different matchup. I like that.
I think either way, it's going to be a great World Series.
So.
But I like to see Toronto. It'd be interesting to see their bats going up against in either Kansas City or Toronto. The bats going up against that pitching is incredible. All 3 games can be heard on KRVN.com. You can stream them anywhere in the world. Tyler Cavalli and Scott Foster saying farewell for our final regular season edition of the High School Football Preview Show.